Okay, hello. We are going over designs in Command today. So the Designs tab, if you look over to the left, it's towards the bottom. It's this little paintbrush thing. And this is going to be aptly named where you design any of your materials. So today we're going to be looking into, what will we look into? Flyers, postcards, social media images. It's really all the same in the way that you work the program, just kind of different outcomes that you can do a lot with it. So to start, as I said, look on the left. These are called applets. I call them tabs sometimes, just colloquially. We're going to click on the paintbrush. It says designs when we hover over it. And now in here, depending on how active you've been in Command, you may or may not see anything here. You'll notice I'm getting a little pop-up notification here. That's because I was on my team account. It automatically switched me to my personal account, just because Designs functionality isn't there yet for Teams. So just something to be aware of, you will have to use your personal Command account. It'll automatically do it for you though. So on this first page, you'll see I have 1 through 10 out of 219 designs that I've made. If you haven't made any designs, you're not going to see anything here. Not a big deal. But if you do have designs here, if you click on this 1 through 10, if I click on that, right now it's only showing me 10. It can show me 20 or 30 at a time. If I click 30, I can see the 30 most recent designs that I've made. So that can be helpful for you. There's a filter button up here. So if I only wanted to see email, social, print, or video, I could do that. I'll tell you right now, video, they just make this one video automated for neighborhoods, which is cool for what it is, but it's just the same thing. So if you're posting it on social media, I would use it sparingly. So it's not like, oh, I just saw this video a month ago. And you'll notice, see it a year ago, August 19th. So it's been a minute for me. We will look over that briefly today. But if I wanted to go back and see maybe a listing presentation that I did, I could just check print, apply filters, and then, okay, I've got these LPs are what I call listing presentations. Here's a flyer. It's just anything that falls in the print category. So we are going to go, I guess I should say, you can sort it by date, oldest to newest or newest to oldest. We're going to go into the create design function today. So click that on the upper right-hand corner. And now here are my options: email, social, print, and video. I don't know why they give you this pop-up to begin with, because they all take you to the same place. So click one of them, click continue. We're not going to worry about this import photos and text from a listing yet, because we'll do that later. It's a little easier to edit later. So we'll click continue. And as I said, no matter which one of those you click on, it's going to take you to the same page, which is the templates page. So mine's taking a minute to load here. But there we see templates at the top. And over on the left, you see these different categories. So these categories are not for what type of graphic you're creating, such as a social media graphic versus a print graphic. They are for why are you making the graphic. So we have K-score, listings, buyer, lead generation, business basics, leadership, holidays, professional services. So there's a bunch of different categories here. So let's say, what's your purpose of making a graphic? Let's say that today's St. Patty's Day. Let's just use that. So we'll go under holidays, click this drop down. We can filter by month. We're in March. So I'm guessing they'll have something for International Women's Month, maybe. Yep, they do. Spring equinox. What else do I have? A couple of St. Patty's Day things. Welcome, beautiful spring. Spring is here. So you can see as I scroll down, there's a bunch of little things here. Spring forward, daylight savings time. And these are not sorting based on type, on whether I'm printing or social or whatever. That I'm going to see up here. So I currently have all selected, which is why I'm seeing all of these things. What do I want to do? So they don't have any print media, I guess, because you're probably not sending out like St. Patty's Day flyers or anything. Um, Holidays are likely more of a social media type thing. So it's giving me these 4 filters. Facebook specifically, social square, social wide, or social stories. And the difference between these is just going to be dimensions. So if I hover over that, you said a minute ago, 1080 by 1920 pixels. Pixels are the little tiny things that make up an image. I'm going to go with square because square is the most versatile. You could take this graphic and then use it for Facebook and also in Instagram. Instagram prefers square things. Facebook prefers kind of taller things. If you're on a laptop looking at something, you might prefer a wider thing. So square to me just makes the most sense. So I'm going to go square. It's St. Patty's Day. So I'm going to use this one. Then that takes us into the editor. And you'll see it says WeBrand at the top of my browser. That's because WeBrand is a company that Keller Williams uses. We kind of outsource this. We're using this WeBrand separate technology editor to make all these changes. So I might just be happy with this. Maybe I just want to change my doing business as name because that was a little weird. So on that. There we go. So you see that gets highlighted and then it automatically changed over to my edit or my assets here. So I have what it calls a secondary logo, and then this is just my team logo, it's primary logo. You can set that up if you go, well, I'll show you where to set it up in a little bit. But what I can do, if I have this already, and you may, because it just pulls from your Market Center profile, so you may not know that this was set up, but it is. If you see this here, all you have to do with any image that you see in Designs is you select it. So I have these blue lines around it. And I come over here. And if I hover over it, I see this replace. I'm going to click on that. And it just replaces it. So now that's there. If I wanted to replace it with this, I could do that. Obviously, it's kind of some different dimensions. But this is going to work exactly as just any other image type editor would work. So I have these little bubbles where I can drag it, change the size of it. I can just drag it around, just like you would do. I mean, it's pretty common to have an editor that does that. So I can do that. I don't know, this is kind of boring. So maybe I want to do something different with it. But I can, let me show you a little bit of the functionality over here. I go into images and I click stock. These are just random images that Keller, well, maybe not random, that Keller Williams has uploaded here. Go workspace, let's see. Oh, look, Gary popped up. Follow my lead and I'll guide you through the essential steps in creating your design. It'll be easy and fun. So you could follow this along. It'll give you kind of a walkthrough of what to do. But I clicked holidays and okay, this is looking mostly Christmassy. I don't think I want those. Miscellaneous. I could put a house image in there. So these are more just kind of pictures that I might want to use that Keller Williams just has for you to use. If I wanted to add my own picture, I can do that. Facebook, I can go ahead and log into Facebook and just bring them over. Same thing with Facebook pages. So that's like Facebook would be my personal profile. Facebook page would be my business page. So you could log into that. Google Drive, Dropbox, you can access all of those to bring in images for whatever it is that you're wanting to do here. Lastly, you can click or drag and drop right here. If you have a computer, an image that's already on your computer somewhere, you can go ahead and add that. I don't know anything off the top of my head. I don't know, pictures. I don't know. I could go find something and just upload it and then add it in here. You might not want to do that necessarily with social media graphics, but maybe you are, I don't know, creating a flyer of some sort, maybe for a listing you have, you might want to put that in there. Text. So this is, you can just add your own text in here. There's usually more, oh, there we go. That was just taking a minute. So if I add a title, okay, so here's Gary walking me through everything again. I'm gonna skip this. You don't have to if you want to follow it step by step. But so it just says title, right? And then this is just kind of like a word editor. Oops, what should I do? You can pick the font that you want to use here. This is the size. I don't actually know what this typewriter function does. Oh, I guess you just type it over here and then it pops up over there. So maybe you want to actually write something out before you see it, and then just click Save Changes and it pops up over there. Here are some words. Opacity, so is it like semi-transparent? You can see that kind of fades away as I drag that. The fill color, so you can do a fill color and also a stroke color. So in this case, both of them are black, but if I wanted to do like a red fill and a black outline, you can see how I kind of got a little trace around those. I can pull this. Like I said, if you've used, even if you've used like Microsoft Word with what's called WordArt, it's kind of like that from back in the day. So all of this is just like your typical word editor. A lot of these are going to look very similar. Bold, italicized, this is highlighted, bullet points, numbers, letter case, whether it's capital or lowercase, justification, which is adjusted all the way to the left, to the right, or to the center. So there's just a lot of stuff you can do with it. And if I don't like this, I've got it at 194 right now. Maybe I want to shrink it down. I can do that. And then you'll see that it just kind of automatically adjusts over here. It's 74.5 apparently. If I wanted to change it a little. Now it's 73.75, so you don't have to type anything in there. You just kind of click it. Banners, these are things that Keller Williams has already made for you, or honestly, probably Rebrand made these. And so you can drag these over. There we go. And I can actually edit some of that. See, I double clicked, and then now I can change sale to whatever I want it to be. Just if you're somebody like me who's not that visually creative, and just deleted that. You want an idea for how something might look kind of cool, as opposed to just my lame, here are some words thing over here. There's some ideas for you in there. As I said, logos. You can go in here and find logos also. They're just going to be your basic Keller Williams ones. Now, I'm in workspace right now. My assets, I'll show you, hopefully we'll have time at the end here to show you my assets. Here we go. So events, luxury, miscellaneous, labs, and KW are the options you have there. You can just kind of click around and see what you can find. Elements, these are going to be kind of like little stickers that you can put on there. Like this is a cool arrow. Oops, what did I do? I clicked the wrong thing there. I'm going to put that there. Maybe I want to rotate it, probably. That's what this little circle thing is for. If I click that, I can drag it. And then you can search for things in here too. There's also a drop down. Maybe I want animals. I don't know, is there a St. Patrick's Day animal? A unicorn, great. Again, I can adjust the size of that. Oh, I can change the colors of my unicorn. You know, you can do that. So obviously I'm not going to be sharing this graphic anywhere. It looks terrible. But I just want to show you kind of some of the things that you can do to liven up whatever it is that you are making. Workspace. These can be nice, actually, nice images to use. If you're creating, maybe you're creating a postcard or in a listing presentation or something, and you want to have these icons for how to call me. Here's my website, here's my email, here's my location, that's what you put that on there. And I would, if I were you, I would put them like, you know, tiny size and then have some text next to it. KWLS. So this is, you know what, this isn't going to look great probably for this social media graphic. So I'm going to go back and show you what maybe a flyer might look like. Just because we can do a little bit more, obviously, you know, that's fun to put up social media graphics. But there's a lot more you can and should be doing as an agent. Let's go to listings instead. Let's do just listed. Takes a minute. You can see that these have changed. I do still have social if I would like to, like Social Square, so I could make a little image of this just listed and post that on my social media. I have door hangers, bifolds, trifolds. I'm gonna do maybe I'll do a flyer. I was thinking postcard, but I think I'll do flyer. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick one of these. Again, you can look through them and decide what you like the best. I'll use this one. Use. Okay, so again, all of these same things on the left-hand side have popped up. My design is different. And I want to zoom in a little bit because it's kind of tiny. But again, I can double click this just listed, and then I can go ahead and change that if I want to. I might not want to change that, but I would want to change this address, obviously. Before I do this though, I'm going to go over here to this KWLS we were just talking about and find a listing of mine. And this doesn't have to be yours, you know, if you're doing an open house for an agent in your office and maybe you want to find their listing and print out materials. And this isn't always going to default to your neighborhood or even your listing. You might have to kind of scroll down a little to find it. I don't know where. Oh, maybe because it's pending. I don't know. Search by listing agent. Let's do it. Okay, well, I'm just going to find a random one. Oh, I still have it by listing agent. Let's go to listing address. There we go. Okay. Let's find one that has an image at least. Okay, this one looks like an actual house. These look like some sort of business. So we'll select this listing. And now the cool thing is it will hook into the MLS. And this must only have a couple of pictures here, but it should load all of the pictures right here. And then if you go to listing details, you have all of these different, just whatever was inputted into the MLS. So for instance, I have 123 Spruce Road, City, State, 12345. Here's the property address. And it is going to come up as whatever it looks like here. So I'm going to click this replace button, knowing that I have to do a couple things. So they have it as 123 Main dot Alameda dash. I don't even know where is this house, California. Okay. So I'm going to put Alameda CA. So I can edit that. If I wanted to change this image, go back to these photos and just click replace. Ta-da! Now I don't love this bridge MLS copyright thing that they have there. So what I'm going to do is I want to keep this shape, but I just want to zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to click this reposition button. And you'll see it's kind of a little more transparent in this area where it actually won't actually be shown. Okay, so that's not going to work as well as I hoped because the peak of that home is right here as well. Doesn't matter, I'm not actually creating this, but that's how you would do that. So click done. And I have that little thing that's little, oh, what if I do this picture? There we go. I'm going to reposition and then I'll just zoom in a little bit here so we can get rid of that. And then center it. Done. Ta-da! That looks much nicer. I can edit all of this. Honestly, you can go to listing details and just click replace like I did. 2 bedrooms, replace. But that's going to replace all of this with just the number 2. And honestly, I can just type the number 2 faster than I can go over here and replace it. So sometimes I'll use this just as kind of a reminder. Okay, 1297. Okay, this is how much square footage. That's 2 baths. So I will look at that just as a reference so I don't have to toggle in between tabs. Yeah, and then you just go through and replace stuff as you see fit. So I am not this lady. So let me go into the images. I went and created these folders actually. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Replace that with my face. So you'll notice because these blue lines were here, that's why I can hover over and get this replace image button. Cool, so there's me. I'm not Lisa Johnson. So I would double click that and replace that with my own name. Again, I can click on this and it should default to logos, my assets, and I can replace there. If I didn't have this set up or didn't want to do that, I can go into workspace and it will have KW, just generic KW logos for me. Let's just do a black one. So that's not quite the right size. So I would, whoops, adjust this. Make it smaller. Yep. Cool. And there you have it. This is a newer thing down here that I haven't played around with very much just yet. You can, basically we're starting to make GIFs or GIFs. I don't know. There's a lot of debate over how that's pronounced. So you can take different pages, if this was a multi-page thing, and then it just flips through them, kind of. So that's, I mean, an animation, I guess. And then you can do different things like bounces into the next one or swings in. It kind of shows you as I hover over it. It fades in. Scrapbook A. Kind of like, I guess, kind of like a PowerPoint. You know how you can make the next slide come in a different way. So you can see the different filters there. And you can see here it's in beta, which because it's newer, they're still kind of testing some things out. So there's going to be some bugs there. But feel free to play a lot around with that if you'd like. I'm not going to go into that too much today just because it is newer, it is in beta. If I click this KW support down here, this is just a chat bot. There's not actually a person over here. So they will look for keywords and suggest things based on what you say. So maybe I just and then it gives me help articles. Where can I find Keller Williams logos? Complete your marketing profile, which, okay. Thank you, Keller Williams. Complete your marketing profile, which we were talking about. Use the logos panel in the design editor. So you can click on these and these are going to give you little help articles. So this shows you where to go if you don't have your actual logo for your market center, like mine is, well, that one anymore. It's Keller Williams Grand Rapids. I have mine already. If you didn't have yours, this is going to show you exactly where to go to find it. KW Connect, hover over resources, go down to marketing, and then there's a little thing where you can enter your market center number. So if you need help quickly, as I said, that's a bot. It's kind of like a search engine. It looks for keywords and then suggests space using. Images, text, logos, elements, KWLS. Okay, so we went through all of those. Let me show you something, two more things actually. Yeah. We're going to do a listing presentation, and I'm just picking that because it has multiple pages. You'll notice this keeps, I should address this, it keeps bumping me back here to my designs, and I keep clicking on templates. That's just once we're in the editor, my designs is any design that I've ever made. So I can go through and look for them. I can also add folders, and you can see I've done that. Like this was for a listing that I had once upon a time, and I dragged in all of the marketing materials that I used there. So if you're feeling organized and you want to sort everything, you can do that. This also allows you to start from scratch, essentially, or import PDF files. A couple years ago for my wedding, I used this feature to, just because it was an editor that I had access to, I used it to make like the little cards at each table. imported a PDF and then just kind of edited it. And then use a template. This is just going to take you back to templates. So I'll go back there anyway, because I wanted to show you a listing presentation. Just going to click on one of them. Doesn't matter which one you use. There we go. So two things, I guess, to notice with this template that we didn't really see in the last thing I was working on. Down here in the lower left or right-hand corner, we have pages 29. If I click on that, obviously a listing presentation isn't just going to be one page. It's probably going to be some sort of a booklet or a packet, right? So if I go through here, these are all of the pages they suggest and they default to. They have a 29-page listing presentation. There's some of this that kind of repeats or it says the same thing in different words. So I usually pare this down. Mine ends up being about 16 pages. You can just click on these. I'll show you what page 15 looks like, open house strategy. And then you can go edit this if you'd like. Now I've had it before where I will use the same listing presentation and then just edit stuff for the next client. But then there are clients where I'm like, oh, I know there is a page in that template somewhere that I want to add back in for this client, but I didn't use it for the last client. And I've already pared it down so it's only 6 pages or whatever. If that's the case, I can go over here to templates. And this shows me all of, well, I guess I should say this right-hand side is what is currently in your design. So my design has 29 pages. If I look over here, these are just what the template suggests. So if I wanted to add this page, note that I now have 30 pages in my design. I could delete a page and decide, oh, wait, no, I did want that. And then I can come back in here to templates and it will just give me that template, that specific page from the template, I should say. Okay, I think that's about it as far as the actual designer itself. Those of you who are listening right now, I know this is being recorded right now as well, but those of you who are on with me, do you have any questions?
Can you show us how to create like a postcard, and do you know how to actually tell us how to send it out?
Yes, so my class last week was actually on that. So I can just send you the link for that.
Oh, perfect. That'd be great.
Throw that in the chat right now. But you're right, you would go ahead and design it through Designs, which I kind of had a little overlap with that last week. Email here. Yeah, I'll just copy the link and put that in the chat for you. There you go. But as far as this is concerned, yeah, if we went back to our home again and back to templates, because it's going to bring me back to my designs. Templates. And then maybe just listed. So you have to pick a category for why you're sending out the postcard. But if I go over here and click on standard postcards, they have a few different templates for just listed for me. If I have just sold, same sort of thing, but they look a little different. So I would just go in and play around with those. Okay, so like I said, the templates part, you can just look through these, decide what you want to do, go into the editor, kind of play around with it a little bit. It's pretty straightforward. What I wanted to show you additionally now is this assets tab. So click on that. And now for my assets, this is, if I want to kind of save some of my own, I don't know if templates is really the right word, but my own preferences. So for instance, here's my main color palette, and I don't remember, it's been so long since I've done this. I don't remember if you haven't done this yet. I don't remember if this is a default or if I put this in here. But these are just kind of the standard Keller Williams colors. This one I made and I just called it example and just created whatever colors I want. So if you have a main palette that is Keller Williams colors, would keep something like this, but maybe you have a team that is more, I don't know, seaside kind of teal like for this. Maybe you want to add white as well. So I'll click that. And if you know, there are a couple different ways that you can decide an exact color. There's RGB, HSL. I don't know what HSL is actually. And then there's a hex code. So black is 0000000. If I knew that I like pure black, if I knew that I wanted it to be pure white, yeah. And you can see as I'm going through this, these are different colors. FFF is that kind of blue. And so this can be useful if you have a graphic designer or somebody who's been working with you. You can say, hey, could I get a hex code for those colors? Or you know, they might be working with that. They might be working with, like I said, RGB or something different. And then they can give you, I think this is just red, green, blue, and like the amounts of each one to make the colors. Maybe this is 28. And this, I really don't like doing as far as this, not in graphic design. Okay, so apparently that's the color we get. You can see that this one changes as I do that. Alternatively, if it's just a color you like, you can just drag this along until you find what you like, or move it around here, and you can see that both of these change. So if you want to add a new one, click Add Color Palette, and then you just play around with it. Fonts, if you have certain fonts that are kind of your go-to for your brand and for your image, you can either upload a font or find a font on the web, because it's going to come with a set amount of fonts anyway. So you can do that if you want to add some. Images. So here is where a little while ago I told you that I made a folder for my headshots. Here's where I did that. And you can click this Add Folder button and just to kind of keep yourself organized. So for me, under KW logos, I've uploaded these here. And again, if you go to KW Connect, they'll kind of walk you through how to find, they'll give you like this giant folder that you can download that's all of your market centers logos. So for me, this was one I have that downloaded onto my computer, and I just uploaded the ones that I use most frequently. This one, these checkers indicate a transparent background. So that's what this has. And then it's just this red and black. There's an all white one, there's an all black one, there's a grayscale one. So you just upload whatever it is you want there. I can add another folder in there. I could do a subfolder. I don't really have enough images that I feel like I need to do that. And headshots, these are old. I do have some newer ones. I should probably go in at some point and just upload them. I do currently have them on my Google Drive. So I can click in here, connect to Google Drive. It might require a password, and I'm not going to take up all your time with that. But that's how you would do that. So if you do have things that aren't on your computer, my device obviously would be your computer, but Google Drive, Dropbox, I don't know what Box is, OneDrive, Facebook, and I don't know what Photodexia is either. But if you have any of those applications on the web and you just want to import them over, this is how you would do that. And this doesn't have to be headshots and logos. This can be whatever you want it to be. If you have, I don't know, like team photos that you like to use, or I don't know, whatever you want. You can upload whatever you want here. It would be things you use regularly though. So don't upload your listing photos here because you're only going to use them in the one listing and then probably never again unless you list it again, but then you get the pictures. So this is just things you use consistently. Text. Oh, go ahead. Say that again.
I said, good morning.
Good morning.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
So that transparent background,
Mm-hmm.
there a particular, you know, when we download all of our 851 logos,
Mm-hmm.
is there a particular one it's in? Because it's really hard to figure out which one is the transparency one.
Let me look. There might be a specific like end of the file name. I have to find mine real quick.
Yeah, so there's the ones, but it's like, how do you know which one of these? Because you don't see anything. When you open it, there's nothing there that you can see.
Right.
When it's transparency.
You know, that is a good question that I I'm not sure I know the answer to. I thought it was. Well, 'cause they give you all sorts of different file types. Right?
I know, to be
Mhm.
used, depending upon what you're, whether you're putting it on a sign, a card, marketing, that, but those is a transparency, and I can never figure out which one it is.
Is it TIFF? Is there one that ends in TIFF?
Not in here. And I have to believe that it's in here somewhere.
I wonder if I just kind of did it with trial and error because I'm not in graphic design at all. So
Oh.
I think I just had to kind of figure it out. It was one of these. I don't know what it was.
All right, I'll play with it some more then and actually put it on a Word doc and see if I can figure out which one it is.
Okay. Or if they show you I thought I saw a .tif file in here. If they show you an image or an example of the image, like in here.
Mhm.
Hey, Heather, this has been super helpful for us. We appreciate it. Somebody brought us lunch, so we are going to hop off.
Okay.
But we thank you for your time. It's been super helpful.
Yeah, you're
And
welcome.
I appreciate the other link too. We'll go to that and see if it can help us get some postcards out.
Definitely. And feel free to
Thank you.
this will be uploaded tomorrow, probably at that same
Okay.
channel. So you can.
Okay, Julie says thank you too.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay,
Enjoy
bye.
lunch. Okay, just a couple more things to go through here then. Logos, it's the same sort of thing as we did with images, just with logos instead. You can add folders if you want. You can upload, and that's going to be the same as what we saw previously with these different options. Elements are kind of like stickers. See, they have a little smiley face there. Stickers, objects, shapes, icons, and more. If you have your own that you like to use, like maybe a special just sold looking type sticker that's in your team or your individual branding, you can upload that here. So you can just put it on every, I don't know, just closed picture or make a social media graphic with that. You can do that. Videos, you can upload videos. This is just my grandpa. And I uploaded this, I think just the last time I taught this class, because I don't have any videos that I just keep in here. But if for some reason you did, this is where you would do that. And lastly, files. So files is basically the and everything else. If it wasn't covered in here, you can upload it here. I don't really know what other types of files you would want to use that aren't font, color, image, logo, video. But if you could think of something, this is where you put that. Yeah, so let me just jump back into designs quickly, just so I can kind of show you where those templates go. Or I'm sorry, assets. I don't know why I said templates. So here's my little image from earlier that I didn't save all my changes to because I didn't need to. So now you'll see there's this My Assets tab. If I go to Images, My Assets, those are those two folders that I had created. So this headshots, for instance, has those 3 images that I put in there. Same thing with logos. Those are those 4 logos that you saw because we're under My Assets. If I had a specific set of text, under My Assets. And here's the little help thing trying to help me along. So that's just where you would. One last thing that I realized I didn't go over in this editor, and then I think we're all set, is share and download. Download is pretty straightforward. You're just going to download this image. So what type of file type do I want? JPEG, PNG, PDF standard, PDF for printing, or download a video. You would do that if you were playing with these animations like we talked about earlier. It kind of gives you a little description here, but just quickly, JPEG is a smaller file size, but the image quality isn't as great. PNG is the opposite of that. And then it's sort of the same thing with this PDF standard versus PDF for printing. This is going to be lower quality. This is higher quality. Obviously, higher quality, though, is going to be a slightly larger file size, impacting more information into that. And then lastly, there's video you can download. So I'm going to pick JPEG. I can further specify the image quality on that, keeping in mind the higher it is, the larger the file. And then we talked earlier about if you have multiple pages, this is just a one-page graphic. But if I had multiple pages, I could click this drop down and maybe I only want to download page 1 and page 7. I could just click those. Then you click download and it downloads it. Alternatively, you can share it. There we go. So this design means just this one page. The project is if I had multiple pages. If I just this design, I can share that as an image. The thing with this, though, that I wouldn't necessarily use it this way is there's an image link for it. And it tries to hook into Facebook, but it doesn't do a great job. This is my favorite. So you would share a little message, Happy St. Patty's Day, and then it would do this image. You click share and it goes out to your Facebook. Same thing with just kind of some different platforms here. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter. I don't know. Maybe your Facebook page. I think this is Facebook personal Facebook page. Or alternatively, you can just have this image link and there's this editor. This is another tab for you. It's just an editor from WeBrand. If I had multiple pages, it would allow me to flip through them. For like a listing presentation or something, if you just wanted to send that link to your client, then they could view it through this. Or what I would do with a listing presentation is just download the PDF and then they have the PDF and they can view it however they want. So I don't use this share button very often. I usually use the download instead. Okay, now I think that is it. We've covered just about everything. Done just means I'm done and it takes me back to your normal command. Home takes me back into this kind of the home page for the editing for designs. So yeah, that's about it. Any questions generally? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording. And yeah, hope everybody has a great day.